MIS class. My name is Ibrahim Osman Adam, and I'll be taking you Management Information Systems course. The Management Information System course is offered by all first year students. That is the MA Leadership and Development, MA Management Studies, MSc Accounting, and MCOM Accounting. So this means that all options under the MCOM Accounting program would be doing this course. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself briefly to you. As I've indicated, my name is Ibrahim Osman Adam. My first name is Ibrahim, and my last name is Adam, so you can refer to me as Ibrahim. My friends popularly call me Yiblam. That is my nickname. I love that nickname. Educational background, I'm an alumni of Tamale Secondary School, and I'm also an alumni of University of Ghana Business School, where I did a BSc in accounting and graduated with the first class. I proceeded to the London School of Economics and Political Science, where I read an MSc degree in development management. I later on proceeded to the University of Reading, also in the UK, after a change in interest to pursue an MSc in informatics. I returned to Ghana in 2011, worked with an NGO for about 3 years, and then joined UDS in 2013. In 2013, I started a PhD in Information Systems, and I graduated in 2017. So that's just a brief about me. How do you contact me? You can contact me by email. My WhatsApp numbers are the Airtel and the MTN, but I'm most active on the Airtel. What is this course about? The main aim of the course is to examine some fundamental principles in relation to the adoption, implementation, use, and evaluation, as well as the impact of information systems in organizations. So in this course, we'll be exploring different ways in which information technology relates to organizational objectives. How do we use information systems or technology to achieve organizational objectives and organizational goals? And we'll be considering all this in the organizational context. Let me use this so that we can have a bigger picture of how the course outline would be like. Just a second. Yes, so I've already mentioned this about myself. Yeah, so in previous years, this course was taught to UDS postgraduate sandwich students, but as you may all know, all first year students belong to the new university, which has recently become autonomous. It was previously the UDS WA campus. It's now known as the University for Business and Integrated Development Studies. So all first year students belong to this new university. I'm sure this will not be surprising to you as a first year student, because it was indicated when you were applying. So in this introductory lecture, I will take you through what the Management Information System course entails, the objectives of the course. I have mentioned that. We will go through the detailed course outline. One other critical component we'll look at will be how you'll be assessed. We are not in ordinary times. That is even why I'm not physically meeting you to deliver this lecture. So you will be assessed by way of an assignment. I would also like to hear from you, maybe through an interactive session, what your expectations are about this course. I will also discuss with you an assignment you will be doing for me, and this assignment I will refer to as a term paper. We'll discuss that in detail later on. How are you going to get your course materials? Your course materials are going to be given to you in different formats, and we'll discuss that as we go on. For instance, you would have the lecture slides. I will also provide a key text to you, and then you are a postgraduate student. I'm not sure if I should be giving you lecture notes, but we'll discuss that and see. And I will always be available to answer your questions, provide explanations on the WhatsApp platform. Yeah, so what is the key text? The key text is a book entitled Management Information Systems by this gentleman, Loudon, and the wife. And I will be providing the latest edition for you for the purpose of this course, so you don't have to worry about buying it. The course will be delivered in 4 sessions, or four main parts, and the sessions will be about 11. I'm not sure if we'll be able to cover all, but I will try and work so hard so that we'll cover extensively. At least we're supposed to cover about 70% of the course outline as required by the university. So the first part would involve our understanding of organizations, management, and the network enterprise. Here, I will provide an understanding of what management information systems is, its organizational dimensions, its management dimensions, as well as its technological dimensions, and see how these three interrelated components come together to help a network enterprise. Sorry. Yes, so the first session will involve trying to understand what an information system is and how it is redefining business. In this session, I will try to explain briefly what a system is. I will also try to explain what information is. I will try to explain what management is, and then we'll bring the three terms, management, information, and systems together to try and understand what this phrase means. To do that, I'll try to use what we refer to as a systems theory or the systems perspective to try and explain to you what a system is and how it is critical in understanding, in providing an understanding of what management information system is. In lecture 2, we'll be looking at information systems in global business today. So we'll be interested in understanding how information systems are transforming business and why it is so essential in using information systems to run and manage businesses today. We will also be looking at the management, organizational, and technological components of management information systems. We'll try to understand what we mean by complementary assets and how information systems provide value. Then we'll also consider, some of you, maybe by the end of the course, some of you would have interest in pursuing a career in information systems. So we'll look at the academic disciplines used to study information systems, and then we'll look at what you need to do if you want to pursue a career in information systems. In lecture 3, we'll be looking at global e-business and collaboration. Collaboration is critical in today's competitive global environment, and collaboration basically refers to how the interaction between two or more people, when two or more people work, how they interact and how they can interact to achieve a particular objective. We also try to understand what we mean by business processes, and this will provide an understanding for us in understanding how information systems play a critical role in organizations. So our understanding of business processes as individual processes that needs to be followed to carry out a particular activity. And when we bring different business processes together, we will consider it in the concept of what? An organization. Then we also look at how systems serve the different management groups in an organization. So if you look at an organization, we have the sales department, we have the finance department, we have the HR department. How do different systems help these different departments? Then we also look at why are systems for collaboration and social business so important, and what technology can we use to be able to do that. Then we'll look at the role of information systems in a business. In lecture 4, we'll be looking at achieving competitive advantage with information systems. The adoption and or adaptation of technology for business purposes are usually done with a strategic objective so that businesses can do better, considering their core competencies. They can do better than others to outcompete them in the global competitive environment. So here we'll try to understand the critical features of an organization and how managers need and what managers need to know in order to build or use information systems successfully. We'll also look at the impact of information system on organizations, and we'll look at Porter's competitive forces model. Some of you may have done marketing and you would know that Porter is a guru in marketing. So we'll look at the Porter's 5 forces model and how we can use that to explain how businesses can achieve a competitive advantage using information systems. We'll also look at the value chain model. We'll also look at synergies, core competencies, and network economies, and how all this can help companies to develop competitive strategies. Finally, we'll look at the challenges posed by strategic information systems and how they should be addressed. In lecture 4, still part of the first part of the lecture, we'll look at ethical and social issues in information systems. Now, when organizations use information systems, or even when we as individuals use information systems, it raises a number of issues. It raises a number of ethical issues, it raises social issues, it raises political issues. So we'll consider all these 3 aspects. When we are talking about ethics, we are basically interested in the issue of right and wrong. And when we use information system, either individually, personally, or in organizational context, it raises a number of issues. Then we also look at the principles which will guide our conduct in the use of what? Information systems. So we'll be interested specifically in the principles for conduct in that will guide our behavior when we are using information systems. Then we also look at why contemporary information systems technology and internet pose challenges to protection of individual privacy. Some of you may have come across instances where you suspect that somebody has hacked your phone, hacked your computer. So we'll look at some of the issues surrounding this. Finally, we'll look at how information systems have affected laws for establishing accountability, liability, and the quality of our everyday life. That will bring a closure to the first part of our lecture. In the second part, we'll be looking at information technology infrastructure. Information technology infrastructure forms the basis of everything we are going to do. So we'll try to understand what we mean by IT infrastructure in the first part of the second lecture. What are the stages and drivers of IT infrastructure evolution? We'll look at the components of IT infrastructure and the current trends in terms of hardware platforms. We'll also look at current computer software platforms and trends. And finally, we'll look at the challenges of managing IT infrastructure and management solutions. Still under IT infrastructure, we'll look at telecommunications, the internet, and wireless technology. So we'll look at the principal components of telecommunication networks. When we say network, what do we mean? Does it just mean that when two or more computing devices are connected together, or it means something else? We'll look at key networking technologies. We'll also try to understand the different types of network. And here we'll be interested in how the devices in the network are arranged and how they are connected or they communicate with each other. We'll also look at how the internet and internet technology work and how do they support communication and electronic business. Finally, we'll look at the principal technologies and standards for wireless communication, wireless networking, and the internet access. So here we'll look at terms like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, infrared, and whatnot. In lecture 7, we'll look at how we can protect information systems, securing information systems. Why are information systems vulnerable to destruction, error, and abuse? So even if we are using information systems for our personal use or for business, we need to be very critical. We need to be very aware of the fact that we need to protect our information assets. What is the business value of security and control? We'll look at what are the components of an organizational framework for ensuring security and control, and we'll also look at the most important tools and technology we can use to safeguard information resources. That will bring closure to the second part. In the third part, we'll look at key information system application for the digital age. So here we'll be interested in looking at what we mean by e-commerce, what we mean by digital markets, and what we mean by digital goods. So we'll look at the understanding of e-commerce and how different that is from what we refer to as e-business. We'll look at the unique features of e-commerce, the unique features of digital markets, and the unique features of what digital goods. We'll also look at the principal e-commerce businesses and revenue models. How has e-commerce transformed marketing? How has e-commerce affected business-to-business transactions? And the role of mobile commerce in business and some of the important m-commerce applications. Lastly, we'll look at the issues that must be addressed when we're building an e-commerce presence. So if you want to start a business online, what are the critical issues you need to look at before you can start? Then in lecture 9, we'll look at achieving operational excellence and customer intimacy. Achieving operational excellence and customer intimacy is one of the critical roles information systems play in organizations. So we'll take that as a topic to try to examine how enterprise systems help businesses to achieve operational excellence. How do they use information systems to do better than other organizations? So we'll also look at supply chain management systems. Then we'll also look at customer relationship management systems. And finally, the challenges that enterprise applications pose and how enterprise applications can take advantage of new technologies. In lecture 10, we'll look at enhancing decision making. This is very critical because in our use of information system, all what we're trying to do is to try to use technology to help us make informed business decisions. So how can information systems enhance the decision making of a manager in an organization? Here, we'll be interested in understanding the different types of decisions that managers take and how those the decision making process can be supported by information systems. Secondly, we'll look at how information systems can support the activities of managers and management decision making, as I've indicated. Then how do business intelligence and business analytics support management decision making? And finally, how do different decision making constituencies in an organization use business intelligence? The last part would be how organizations can build or manage information systems. And we'll be looking at building information system as a topic, where we'll look at the building of new systems. How do they produce organizational change? What are the core activities in the system development life cycle? What are the principal methodologies we can use for modeling and designing information systems? And the alternative methods we can use to build information systems. We can build information systems in-house, or we can outsource the information system development activity. We'll also look at the new approaches for system building in the digital era. Hopefully, this will bring the closure to the course content. One critical component I would also like to discuss is now that we are not having a face-to-face lecture, it will be difficult to conduct quizzes or assessment in class. So I would want all of you, each student will need to identify an organization. The expectation is that almost all of you are currently working. If you are not working, I'm sorry, you will have to find an organization. And when you find an organization, you will try to identify what this organization, the technology this organization has developed, adopted, or implemented to solve a particular organizational problem. So each student needs to finish a written case study and submit to me, approximately 2,500 to 3,000 words. And this will be based on the development, implementation, or use of the system in the organization, or it may be in society. For instance, you can take the Ghana Post GPS system, which is a societal application, and the research paper, the term paper you are going to write, must reflect your understanding of basic concepts, which we are going to cover in this course. And it is important that I introduce you to this assignment so that you will pay critical attention to some of the things we will discuss to see how it will shape your term paper as we go on. The case study you are going to write for me should follow a particular format, and the format would be as follows. You would have an abstract which will summarize what you have done, and since you will be identifying an organization, you should have a title or a subheading which will be the firm profile to give a background of the nature of the activities and services provided by this organization. You will describe the organizational structure and provide a summary of the resources, especially technology resources. You can provide summary of other resources, but you should be interested or pay particular attention to how technology resources are supporting these other resources. So you may also look at this particular aspect, a business startup. What you are looking at may be a business startup. So you can provide a brief historical background of the company or the business startup and how they have been operating over the years without the system, and bringing out the key problems that they have been facing and the challenges they have been facing in the Ghanaian context. Then you discuss a particular problem, opportunity, or challenge which require a technology-enabled solution, and describe the antecedents, the things that have been happening in relation to this problem, which may include the social, managerial, organizational, technological, legal. All this problem needs to be discussed in relation to the business problem you have identified. Now, after identifying the problem, what technology solution did the organization use to solve this problem? And here you are expected to discuss the technology-based solution, introduce to address the business challenge, problem, or opportunity. Then, in addressing the challenges, you will also provide some assessment. The critical aspect of this term paper for me is for you to be able to come out with key lessons that managers can learn from this case study you are going to write. Now, some other critical guidelines. Each case study report should be presented with a cover page, which should state the title of your case study and also outline your name, your index number, and your email address. It's very critical for me. Your case study should focus on how the organization attempted to address a business challenge, a business opportunity, or a problem through a technology solution. Then your case study should also depict either a failure or a success. So you should not only be looking at successful implementation or use of technology. You can look at how technology has also failed in organizations or societal contexts. It is also important to draw out some of the social, managerial, organizational, and technological, as well as legal or economic issues which contributed to either the failure or the success of the technology-enabled solution. So basically, this is what we are expected to do in this course. I know you'll be thinking that it's a lot. Indeed, it is a lot, and I'll try to do my best for us to cover as much as we can for the course. Thank you very much, and the first lecture will follow soon. Bye.